Good morning and welcome to the newspaper show where we get you a gist of what's covering the pages of your favorite newspaper. I am Preeti Dahiya and let's begin the day with a look at the leading national daily of the country, the Times of India. In the Times of India today, the top headline concerns the rapid antigen tests, which are now making up nearly half of daily checks. Now, total number of COVID tests in India has crossed the 2 crore mark, and in fact, with that, this landmark that we achieved on Sunday, it is powered by a rising proportion of the faster and cheaper rapid antigen tests in its daily volume of testing. So that's a crucial landmark that India has achieved, and perhaps as a result of the increase in the number of testing on Sunday, India's COVID count was highest in the world. For the first time, India added the highest number of fresh COVID-19 cases among all countries, and India's count of 53,641 on Sunday was higher than the infections detected in the US and even Brazil, the two countries which are ahead of us. There is this little graphic also to help you understand how India is placed as compared to US and Brazil in terms of conducting the tests and reporting the number of cases on a daily basis. Now, let's take a look at some other headlines from the front page of the Times of India this morning. This is also equally important. Draft policy seeks self-reliance for India in defense production. Languishing in the strategically vulnerable position of being among the top 3 arms importers in the world for years, India now wants to build a major defense industrial base for self-reliance in weapons systems and exports to other countries in the next 5 years. This is also a part of Prime Minister Modi's Atmanirbhar project, and with this little snippet here, you can get the gist of the policy. It eyes 35,000 crore rupees in exports by becoming self-reliant in defense production. Now, this is also an important bit of snippet that you see here at the top right corner of the Times of India this morning. Car sales in Delhi in July are up 5-fold from 2 months ago. Now, why this is important is because auto sector had suffered significantly during the lockdown phase, but Delhi's economy particularly is looking on the revival path if one goes by the vehicle sales in July compared with May 2020, when vehicle registrations in Delhi restarted after the lockdown. Car sales saw more than 5-fold increase in the past 1 month. Now, this is also because public transport system is still not robust and most of it is still locked, and that's why a lot of people are in fact resorting to buying their own vehicles, and that has definitely contributed to this increase in the sale of vehicles in the last couple of months. Now, let's take a look at some other front page news. This is in fact important. A woman on way to hospital stopped by police and dies. This is another unfortunate story. Similar stories, in fact, we've seen unfold several times, but this one is coming in from Chhattisgarh's Balrampur after police allegedly refused to let a 45-year-old woman and her husband pass from one district to another without quote-unquote proper papers. So even now, movement of people in certain areas in the country is not very free and easy, and that's the reason perhaps that contributed to the death of this woman who was on her way to hospital, but allegedly without proper papers. There is also a bit of news here which says that let India appoint a lawyer for Jadhav, and this is something that the Pakistani court has said. The Islamabad High Court on Monday ordered the Pakistani government to make another offer to India to appoint a lawyer for Kulbhushan Jadhav, who was sentenced to death by a secret military court in April 2017 for alleged spying. So if India accepts this offer this time or not is something that we will continue to update our viewers with, but Times of India has reported on this development. And now take a look at the bottom half of the front page of Times of India this morning. It talks about the much awaited Bhumi Pujan of Ram Janmabhoomi temple tomorrow, and 175 people have been invited for Bhumi Pujan, which includes Iqbal Ansari, who was one of the litigants, and he in fact in this photo is posing with the beautiful invite which has been prepared for Bhumi Pujan ceremony. Invitations for the Bhumi Pujan has been sent to 175 people, including Iqbal Ansari, son of Hamid Ansari, the oldest Muslim litigant in the Ayodhya case, who was among the first to get this invite. And Of 175 invitees, 135 are from 36 religious orders of India and Nepal. And amongst the chief guests of the ceremony, we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, UP Governor Anandiben Patel, and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and Temple Trust Chairman Mahant Nritya Gopal Das, who are the 5 people who will be sitting on the stage with the Prime Minister when the Bhumi Pujan ceremony takes place. Also, forensic auditor will examine Sushant's accounts, is something that the Mumbai Top Cop has assured. The city police will seek the help of a forensic auditor to examine the financial transactions of actor Sushant Singh Rajput, who was found dead in his Bandra flat on June 14th. This is what Police Commissioner Parambir Singh has told the Times of India, as reported by the paper here. And also the bit of news related to Bihar SP Tiwari, Vinay Tiwari, who was sent to Mumbai to assist his team in the probe and was forcibly quarantined. The Bihar Chief Minister says that he is unhappy with that development. Now, let's take a look at some other leading stories on the front page of the Times of India, the snippets of which you find here, and the details are always given in the pages inside. One of the most important stories globally is that Microsoft aims to complete TikTok acquisition by September 15th, after CEO Satya Nadella spoke to President Trump, who gave him 45 days to secure a deal. Now, this is crucial. If TikTok doesn't get banned in US, it will only be if Microsoft takes over TikTok by September 15th. That's the deadline set by US President Donald Trump. And this is a very important bit of information that we can perhaps go into the details later as well. And it is a statement given by the World Health Organization. And it says that mothers should continue to breastfeed their babies even if they have contracted COVID-19, as benefits of breastfeeding outweigh risks of the infection. And at the same time, the WHO also says that despite strong hopes for a vaccine, as many countries are at the moment working towards it, there might never be a silver bullet. And this is the warning put out by the WHO, while also giving out the mortality rate globally, which stands at 0.6%, which is a significant improvement from the time when the pandemic just broke globally. And a bit of cricket news. BCCI is planning to form a task force for resumption of cricket, and that task force is likely to be headed by Rahul Dravid, and we will give you the details of this when we reflect on the sports section of the Times of India a bit later in the bulletin. Now, let's shift our focus to the top Hindi daily of the country. नवभारत टाइम्स में आज सुबह की जो खबरें हैं, उनमें भी अयोध्या में कुलदेवियों संग हुई गणेश पूजा, कल भूमि पूजन में शामिल होंगे प्रधानमंत्री। कल जो अयोध्या में भूमि पूजन होना है, उस पर ही आज के नवभारत टाइम्स का भी फोकस है। उसकी सारी डिटेल्स दी गई हैं कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर को रामचरितमानस देंगे इकबाल अंसारी, जो कि पहले कुछ लोग हैं जिन्हें इनवाइट भेजा गया है इस भूमि पूजन सेरेमनी के लिए। बाबरी मस्जिद के पक्षकार इकबाल अंसारी को भूमि पूजन का न्योता मिला है। उन्होंने न सिर्फ इसे स्वीकार किया, बल्कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर को उपहार में देने के लिए रामचरितमानस और राम नामी दुपट्टा भी ले लिया है। तो ये कुछ खास भेंट होगी इकबाल अंसारी की तरफ से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए कल, जब वो उनसे भूमि पूजन के दौरान मिलेंगे। और साथ ही नवभारत टाइम्स भी आज की हेडलाइंस में रिपोर्ट कर रहा है कि एक दिन में कोरोना के सबसे ज़्यादा केस अब भारत में, ये एक रिकॉर्ड है जो भारत ने इस संडे को दर्ज किया। साथ ही याद रखिए कि रैपिड एंटीजन टेस्टिंग भी अब बहुत बढ़ गई है भारत में, जिसके चलते काफ़ी नए केस भी सामने आ रहे हैं। लेकिन 2 करोड़ से ज़्यादा लोगों को टेस्ट करने पर ओवरऑल इस सोमवार को नए मरीज जो भारत में आए हैं वो 52,000 के ऊपर है, और अमेरिका और ब्राज़ील में इससे कम नए कोरोना वायरस के केसेस आए थे। तो ये एक चिंता की बात होगी भारत के लिए। और साथ ही एक बहुत ही दिल को छू लेने वाली तस्वीर यहाँ पर डाली है नवभारत टाइम्स ने। कोविड के संक्रमण के दौरान रक्षाबंधन कैसे मनाया गया। सोमवार को दिल्ली के कॉमनवेल्थ गेम्स कोविड सेंटर में रक्षाबंधन मनाया गया। मरीजों ने डॉक्टरों को राखी बांधकर उनका शुक्रिया अदा किया। ये एक और तरीका है कैसे अपने कोविड वॉरियर्स को स्पेशल फील कराया गया कल रक्षाबंधन के त्यौहार के दिन, जब उनमें से काफ़ी लोग अपने घर वालों से शायद नहीं मिल पाए होंगे। साथ ही सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के केस के बारे में भी नवभारत टाइम्स में रिपोर्ट किया गया है। इस केस में मुंबई और बिहार पुलिस के बीच में जो टकराव चल रहा है उसको यहाँ रिपोर्ट किया गया है। पटना के एसपी मुंबई में क्वारंटीन, सीएम नीतीश कुमार ने अनुचित बताया, और ये वो क्वारंटीन की स्टैंप है जो एसपी विनय तिवारी के हाथ पे लगाई गई थी बीएमसी द्वारा। और साथ ही एक्टर सुशांत की मौत की जांच पर बिहार और महाराष्ट्र पुलिस सोमवार को आमने सामने दिखे। बिहार पुलिस ने मुंबई पुलिस की जांच पर सवाल उठाते हुए असहयोग के आरोप लगाए। साथ ही मुंबई पुलिस के कमिश्नर ने आरोपों से इनकार किया और कहा कि बिहार पुलिस को इस केस में जांच का अधिकार नहीं है। तो जो खींचातानी चल रही है बिहार और महाराष्ट्र की पुलिस के बीच, उसके बारे में रिपोर्ट किया गया है फ्रंट पेज पे नवभारत टाइम्स के। और एक छोटी सी खबर यहाँ पर उस अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट को लेकर भी है जो घाटी में जवान को किडनैप किया गया है टेररिस्ट द्वारा। और ये बकर ईद पर अपने घर गए थे शकीन मंजूर। उनकी कार को कुलगाम में जली हालत में पाया गया और उन्हें किडनैप कर लिया गया है। पुलिस और सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जो हैं वो उन्हें ढूंढने में फिलहाल अग्रसर है। नाउ लेट्स शिफ्ट आवर फोकस टू द पिंक पेपर, द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, द लीडिंग बिजनेस डेली ऑफ द country. Now, the Economic Times on its front page is talking about global companies' flag issue of multiple approvals. Now, what does this mean? If you go into the details of this, global manufacturers such as Foxconn, Samsung, Wistron and Yazaki have raised concerns over the process of getting permission for industrial projects in India involving multiple clearances and long response times, underscoring the need for an effective single window system to attract big investments. If India is to attract big investments from multinational companies, then it needs to really come up with single window system to attract those investments is the gist of the story. And it has also given an investment window flow chart really which you can read into. Factory activity worsens in July on state curbs. Now that's something that should worry industry experts. Pickup contingent on infection control and lifting of restrictions, IHS market. Now India's manufacturing activity contracted at a faster pace in July after showing some recovery in June as localized lockdowns by state governments took their toll on business activity. This is an extremely important bit of news that industry experts would be focusing on today. Stocks tumble as COVID spread hits recovery hopes. Benchmarks down 4% in past 4 sessions. Traders fear pricey stocks may fall further. Another red flag really issued by the experts there. Stock markets extended losses to the 4th straight day on Monday, with the Nifty closing below 11,000 as the spread of COVID-19 across the country clouded hopes of economic recovery. We are nowhere close to bending the curve or flattening the curve, and that is also showing its impact on the markets, as is evident in these graphics as well. All right, let's now move on to city-specific news reported by the Times of India this morning. And if we talk about the national capital, first of all, Parveena is joining me live on the broadcast now. And Parveena, from the national capital, I think one of the important stories reported by the Times of India is related to cities seeing 805 new cases, which is significantly lower than what it was reporting just about a couple of weeks ago.
Well, absolutely, it's a significant improvement as far as, national capitals reporting of COVID-19 cases are concerned, because we have finally reached 3-figure from 4-figure, and that's a sense of relief for the state. But having said that, the state has been saying we cannot get complacent to this, and there are still threats around, and one has to be, cautious about situation around. Also, remember, on 27th of July, the Delhi High Court has asked Aam Aadmi Party government to ramp up RT-PCR test, which is very, very important. Remember, the tests have also step by step have gone higher in the national capital, which has helped us to reduce the numbers. And the Delhi High Court has asked the AAP government to speed up and pace up on that too. And all of that put together is helping the national capital to bring down the numbers, and also the death rate has come down. But all the facilities are still open, all the facilities are still available, and the state is still working towards it to bring down the numbers further.
That's great. Thanks very much, Parveena, for joining me with your inputs on those developments. Let's shift our focus now to Mumbai edition of the Times of India, and Kajal Iyer is joining me on the broadcast for more on what's reported from the city. And Kajal, it seems that the city is on a revival mission as far as economic activities are concerned. All non-essential shops in city can open daily from tomorrow, reports the Times of India.
Yes, in fact, they were opening on an odd and even basis, one side of the road on one day and the other side of the road the other day. But now all shops can remain open all through the week. And that is, of course, a good sign, because the shopkeepers have been demanding that for quite some time now. and this will help revive the economy, and the only concerns, of course, would be that the crowds on the streets could increase, and that could lead to a fresh surge. But given the fact that Mumbai has relatively reported lesser cases in the past few days, so perhaps the authorities are now convinced that they can manage things if at all there is a slight surge.
All right, so slowly Mumbai is trying to come back and revive the economy with the opening up of these shops on all 7 days. Thanks very much, Kajal, for joining us with that. Now we are shifting our focus to Kolkata edition of the Times of India, and for this we will be going across to Tamal. And the big story that the Kolkata edition is focusing on is that it's a double whammy for the state of West Bengal, as COVID and dengue infections add to doctors' worry. Tamal, now this is going to be a huge challenge for the doctors in West Bengal.
Well, absolutely. There had been multiple cases where both the diseases seem like overlapping each other. When one patient has been brought to the hospital with symptoms of COVID while under treatment of COVID-19, they have also shown the infection of dengue present in their body. So which means the dengue treatment was supposed to be started, but that did not happen because the patient was admitted under the suspicion of only being infected with COVID. So yes, there had been unfortunate incidents where people have lost their lives, where such viruses like both COVID and dengue have overlapped each other and people were not being diagnosed at the right time. We know the state government had been appealing to people not to take dengue lightly, and thus the administration had been running a campaign effectively on the ground to ensure that people take dengue equally seriously, because that was the fear from day one. For example, today it's pouring heavily in South Bengal, and the weather forecast is that it would continue to pour for the next couple of days, which means there would be the possibility of waterlogging in pockets, and that would also give the fear of dengue mosquito breeding. So yes, at this point in time, there had been several cases where people have been infected with COVID-19. At the same time, they were equally infected with dengue. Due to lack of treatment or not timely treatment of dengue, people have lost their lives. But then it is a warning for the medical fraternity that they cannot take it lightly.
Right, it certainly is. Thanks very much, Tamal. And there's another bit of important news that the Kolkata edition is in fact reporting in the Times of India, and I'd like to update our viewers with that the Kolkata Municipal Corporation has started converting civic halls into test centers. So pretty much the government and the municipal corporation are on the top of the job of curbing the spread of coronavirus, but at the same time they have the challenge of dengue as well, because this is the monsoon season in that part of the country as well, and there is a sharp increase in infections related to dengue. Let's move on now to Bangalore edition of the Times of India, and for this Deepak Bopanna is joining me on the broadcast. Deepak, good morning. The big concern that the Bangalore edition of Times of India is talking about is the fact that now that the Chief Minister is in hospital because of COVID infection, there are several important decisions which are put on hold in the government.
Morning, Preeti. Yes, of course, concerns lie over the Chief Minister's health now that he is admitted to the hospital. But of course, the Chief Minister's office, the hospital, continue to maintain that he is asymptomatic, and it's just for for safety and precautionary purposes that he's at the hospital. Now, as far as decisions of administration is concerned, we are told that he's doing it through video conferencing from inside the hospital. That's what he said yesterday through a video release. But as far as other decisions of cabinet expansion, which was due the next couple of weeks, he was supposed to go to Delhi as well. That probably could once again be halted. We should also understand that about 5 ministers in the state have also been quarantined in his house who are working. About 14 people have tested positive. So of course there's a grievous concern at this point in time, and it's better off that he stays at the hospital. But during this period, like you mentioned, a lot of other activities in the state could be hampered.
And it's not just the Chief Minister who has tested positive. Just a short while back, Congress's Siddaramaiah, the former Chief Minister, has also tweeted that he has also tested positive for COVID-19. So there are many high-profile political leaders from the state who are in fact reporting the infection. Remember, the Chief Minister is already in Manipal Manipal Hospital getting treatment for COVID-19, and 5 other ministers have gone into quarantine because they had come in contact with him. Thanks very much, Deepak. We are, in fact, also getting a bit of important news from Karnataka that despite spike that Karnataka has witnessed in the month of July, it still had fewer cases than states like Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh in the month of July itself. There is a graphic which helps us understand the new cases in July in several states, and that shows that Karnataka is still somewhere, is not close, actually managing better than Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. So that could be a bit of silver lining really for Karnataka. But now let's shift our focus to the Chennai edition of the Times of India. And from Chennai, in fact, my colleague Shabir is joining us on the broadcast. Shabir, good morning. Welcome to the newspaper show. Tamil Nadu is expected to set up a panel to review national education policy. What exactly are the problems of the state government with the NEP?
Well, there are opposition parties who are up in arms. They want the Tamil Nadu government to reject the national education policy that was approved by the cabinet. The contention of, the opposition parties are many. But as far as the Tamil Nadu government is concerned, the Tamil Nadu government is unhappy with the 3-language policy that has been proposed in the new education policy, the national education policy. As far as the Tamil Nadu government is concerned, they say that the state government will follow the 2-language policy. The 2-language policy is something that the state will follow, that is Tamil and English. And they don't want to follow the 3-language policy. So that is something that the Tamil Nadu government has clearly conveyed yesterday. And they have also constituted a committee to look into the other aspects of the national education policy, because there are many aspects that have been pointed by experts and educationists that it's not going to be the benefit for the students. It's not in the favor of the students. And particularly, there is a set way of education policy that is being followed. So the national education policy does not relate to what the kind of education standards that's being followed in Tamil Nadu. So there are a lot of doubts that are being raised by many experts. So the Tamil Nadu government has now formed a committee to look into the other aspects of the national education policy as well.
Right. Shabir, thanks very much for all of those updates. In fact, now we are shifting our focus to the global page of the Times of India. And in this one, Microsoft, like I said earlier, also is an important bit of information that Microsoft gets 45 days from Trump to clinch TikTok deal. If Microsoft becomes successful in acquisition of TikTok by September 15th, then TikTok will not be banned in the US. But if it doesn't, then in all likelihood, President Donald Trump will in fact ban TikTok as it is banned in India. Holding back from his threat to ban TikTok in America, US President Donald Trump has given Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella 45 days to complete a total acquisition of the Chinese short video app after a phone conversation with the Indian-American executive who has led the tech giant to a $1 trillion company after he took over in 2014. And from China, in fact, there is a bit of news reported on the global page which says that US is harassing Chinese students, and that's something that China is concerned about. On Monday, it accused the US of monitoring, harassing and willfully detaining Chinese students and researchers in the US. This is what Foreign Ministry spokesperson's comments have been following a denial of a bail request in California for a researcher accused of lying about her ties to China's Communist Party. At the same time, the WHO also talking about that little hope for a silver bullet, even as cases across the world have now crossed the 18 million mark. Now, let's shift our focus to top sports stories of the day. What exactly is making news in the world of sports? For more on this, let's go across to my colleague Karishma. Karishma is joining me now. Karishma, good morning. What exactly is the top sports story of the day?
Good morning, Preeti. Well, what the Times of India is reporting is that the National Cricket Academy in Bangalore is likely to set up a COVID task force, which will be led by former India captain Rahul Dravid, who is also, the NCA head, and they are going to be forming standard operating procedures that the cricketers will have to undergo once the formal training resumes, in terms of what is going to be the physiotherapy protocol, what is going to be the training protocol, and how exactly will the COVID-19 situation be dealt with once the formal training for cricketers resumes. So all of that has been described in the Times of India with the
Okay, I think I just lost that link with Karishma, but thanks very much, Karishma. This is an important bit of information coming in via the BCCI, but at the same time on the sports page of the Times of India, you can also find a bit of news related to wrestler Narsingh Yadav, whose ban is ending and he now hopes for redemption. As soon as the International Olympic Committee announced that Tokyo Olympics will be postponed to next year, it has given Narsingh also a new lease of life. He was banned as a wrestler at the age of 26. Now, as a 30-year-old, he is happy to get another chance to perhaps aspire to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics, which are now scheduled to take place next year. Apart from this, in the Times of India today, there is also an important article written by Rajyavardhan Rathore, the former union minister, and he talks about the leadership qualities of Prime Minister Modi. The power Modi derives from his office is multiplied manifold by the charisma and influence he wields, is something that Rajyavardhan Rathore has written, and you can read this for yourself. Apart from the other important stories that are in fact reported by the Times of India today, in entertainment section we don't have we actually have our focus once again on the latest developments concerning the Sushant Singh Rajput case, where the Mumbai police chief's recent statements are reported, and the chief once again defends the investigation of the Mumbai police there, and also the Delhi Times goes into the details of the charges of Sushant's family, the police's response to them in terms of Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh reporting, in fact giving out clarifications from the Mumbai police's side. That's all that we could pack for you in this edition of the newspaper show. Thank you so much for watching.